This is Boxing Tickets NI. We are delighted to be joined once again by the main man from Limerick, Jimmy Morrissey. How are you?
What's happening, Steve? It's good to be back on this, brother. How are you getting on?
Always fantastic. I was just saying to you off camera that 7 months since obviously we last spoke. I think before your rematch with Kevin Cronin was the last time we spoke. But I guess you've obviously been through the roller coaster of emotions obviously since obviously your rematch. Ended up as obviously a draw when you were both gunning for the Irish title. You've obviously spent a few months in Thailand as well, and you're now in this nervous, emotional roller coaster now, waiting for Sophie's final on Saturday before your own big fight next month. So you've been through it all the last 7 months.
Yeah, I had a great 7 months. It was nice to get back out in Thailand. I was on a sponsored trip out there in the past, fighting out there. So good to get back to that. Got around some great people, back around John Mitchell. I made him away from Cork, a top MMA guy. People like John Boy Hutchinson and some top MMA guys. So I don't drink or nothing. It was good to get out there, just relax, eat, train, and get some rest under my belt, man. I hit like a stage. I had 3 title fights back to back, and I'm working full time on top of that. And I hit, like, prior to my last fight, a state of fatigue that honestly I can't personify in words what way I felt, man. I never want to feel it again. And I was chronically fatigued. Um, Even like around the time of the Ben McGivern fight was when I was in a bad way, to be honest, not in a good way mentally. Just chronically fatigued. I went out to Thailand. I was yawning. Sophie can testify to this. I was yawning like 10 to 15 times every a minute or two, just non-stop yawning for the last few months, we'll say. And I went out to Thailand, just rested, well trained, eat, ate good food, but slept. I was getting in my 10 hours sleep. And like after about 2 months, Sophie just said, "Look, have you noticed your yawning has stopped?" So that was the main objective completed out in Thailand, was to get some real good rest. Like you said, you have Sophie's fight coming up the weekend. She put the country on notice, the amateur scene on notice last weekend or 2 weekends ago. She beat a really well-established amateur, an Irish international. She has another one ahead of her, a good Irish international southpaw Saturday morning. She knows what she has to do. She has the physical capabilities and the boxing brain to do it. With the help of God, she will do it. So
Obviously, I was speaking to Thomas Carty, who was obviously out in Thailand recently as well. And, you know, Thailand's one of them places where you think of the word straight away and it soothes you. You know, it's a country that everybody knows, very good food, very nice people, and it's just got that meditation sort of thing about it. I think obviously, even just obviously looking at your rematch with Kevin Cronin, obviously what you had to come through, and you probably in that fight, even though obviously I've spoke to you quite a lot and everything else, I was shocked at the end of it. Obviously, you know, the barrage that you took towards the end, that shows exactly the warrior type that you are. But it was good for you to get a bit of rest. It probably came at that right time, as you say, to get out to Thailand, recharge the batteries. You're turning 30 next year. So obviously you need to recharge the batteries before you turn 30.
there was no need of that, man. There was no need to throw that in there. But these are facts, my man. These are facts. Yeah. The Corona fight. I wish, like, first and foremost, hopefully Kevin can get a big fight under his belt soon and maybe get that rematch on for the Craig McCarthy fight. I wish him well in whatever his next endeavor is. Um, yeah, towards the end of that fight, like, I got to show, I suppose, the kind of fighter I am. Um, but like you said, the rest came at a really good time, man. I've come back, and look, I'm excited. I'm excited for the next chapter. Um, I'm excited for, what can I say? God is at the wheel. I've absolutely no doubt in my mind. Lee Reeves, actually, shout out to him. I remember, like, before the first Corona fight, I was like, man, I was in the gym with me. I was like, this is big, and like, he said something to me that I always kind of took with me. Shout out to Lee, was like, he just said, look, all you can do in this fight is give it your all. The rest is in God's hands. That's where I'm at. I surrender a lot to God, and I don't. Camps are up and down. Sometimes the stages in camp you're down, sometimes you're up. I can remember before one of the Corona fights, I was sparring very poorly 3 weeks out. I don't panic. I don't panic because yeah, I don't panic. I know that God is in control. God is sovereign. I'm trying to be as less as Jamie Morrissey as possible. Let myself be filled up with His Spirit and go and glorify Him. the rest was absolutely essential. And more important, more importantly, I got to spend phenomenal time with Sophie and just kind of look back on what has been a really good year and a half, 2 year period. I came through a lot outside of boxing as well, to be honest, that like I wouldn't address a whole lot. I wouldn't address that a whole lot. Had some 3 title fights in a row, and we made some noise for sure. And look where we are now, by the grace of God. It's a big, big opportunity. With Emmet Brennan ahead of me, going into, as Gugu said yesterday, the Lions Den in Dublin. I just saw in your story 600 tickets sold. Yeah, let's have it.
But if anybody, obviously, and obviously I know that you obviously are a big man of faith and everything else, if anybody deserved to fight in the 3 Arena and Katie Taylor's undercard, it was you, Jamie. You know, like, this is going to be your 4th domestic fight. You obviously bring Ben McGivern into that mix in as well, obviously in the Anglo-Celtic sort of region. But you said from day dot, I'm not here. You know, the McGregor mantle, I'm not here to mess about. I'm into these fights. You know, that's you, your fighting nature. So if anybody deserved to have a slot on a Katie Taylor card, it was you. So all credit to you, and it probably your, as I think I've said to you before, your role model and inspiration. You're not one of these people that says, "Oh, I'll fight you," you know, and then obviously behind closed doors, "I'll not fight you." You know, it's like you don't even need money. It's like, "I'll fight." You know, that's the nature of you. So you're that role model and inspiration for everybody else to go. Don't just say you're going to fight. Do it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Very important along that. Like, I can look back at, like, they're very kind words, very, very kind words, and I appreciate that a lot, man. And I get, like, it's important to recognize that we had a really good year and a half or year or so. I have to do this one as well. I have to win this. I have to win this. Now let's take into account a couple of things. A great manager, a phenomenal manager, a manager who has done me so well, but someone I trust. And as I got older, they're few and far between. They are a great manager. I want to give Robert NG a shout out, the guy who he's housing every professional fighter in Limerick now who won a fight the weekend. Probably one of my best. I can't describe how good of a man this is. My previous Thai boxing coach, I have him in my corner always with everything, and he hasn't been at the in the limelight as much as he should have maybe on this boxing journey. He is the backbone to me for everything, and he won his fight the weekend, and he's one of the greatest men. I can't personify the character of this man. I have to give Sean Kelly a massive, massive shout out. That Sean Kelly, as I was turning box when no one gave me a shot at doing anything and no one backed me at all, Sean has always been in my corner has been. I always say I think too much and he doesn't think enough, and we're a great team that way. But he's a phenomenal boxing coach. The exact kind of, I wouldn't change him. I wouldn't change him for nothing. And he's had absolute massive faith in me when no one did, when absolute no one did. And there was fights early on in my career that really initiated this season of taking on whoever wanted it. Was Sean in my corner. I was like, go, do it, man. You call him out. Yeah, do it. So I have to give all these people a massive shout out. And of course, all glory to God, man. All glory to God always. But look where we are. Like, okay, I've won 2 Kelty titles. I have a few good matchups under my belt. We're still like, you still gotta, you're only as good as your last one. And I have a tough one coming up in 6 weeks. And I have to do this. I have to do it, man. Like, I'll be there. Like, I'm ready for whatever comes, man. And I know on form, Jamie Morrissey. Honestly, I'm beating all these fellas. I believe that.
Do you take, obviously, boxing's obviously a weird obviously concept sometimes, that yes, we know that obviously you don't have the amateur experience as a boxer, obviously you're Muay Thai and everything else. Do you take obviously your motivation, your confidence, your hunger, that you're probably the underdog going into the fight with obviously Emmet's amateur experience and everything else, but in terms of pro boxing, obviously Emmet doesn't have the experience you have, been in really good domestic fights. You know, you've 6 fights as a pro. You have 4 title fights. This four, 3 title fights. Sorry,
Yes.
3 title fights. So the experience you have as a pro, he doesn't have. So do you go into it as you're the underdog with the underdog mentality, the upset? What way do you see the fight?
I haven't looked at it too much that way. I know it's a tough fight. Like I think what has made me good and what has made me effective and in the eyes of some people good and in the eyes of some people successful thus far in terms of my fighting career is usually the following, that I don't fear. I think that people have too much respect for people, especially when I started off kickboxing. I done well kickboxing. I wasn't technical, like I was just brave, long, awkward, and brave. And it's the same when I came into boxing. God forgive me, these people wake up and take a shit in the morning like me, and the people that are in the same spot for the last 3 years are people who saying, "Oh no, I'm not fighting him. He did this, he did that." These people they're not Supermen. They're not Supermen. He's a mere man like myself, and I don't look at it too much in terms of underdogs. There's people say, "Oh, you've the experience here, you've done this," or "He's an Olympian, he's done this." At the end of the day, man, there's all the talk. I'm not going to engage in talk like he has. I'm just not. Well done to him. He's selling the fight and whatever. I'm not looking at it in terms of underdog. None of that. I have a man in front of me. I have a job to do, and I'll be there. I'll be there. On form, Jamie Morrissey. He's not stopping me, man. And I'll be there like I always am, ready for war, um, ready to give it all, give it all for this victory, for the glory of God, for the people around me. This one, I'm thinking a lot, always for God. A lot of people around me that I owe so much to, man, and it's about them as well.
Getting to obviously be, be close to Katie Taylor. Obviously, we know Katie Taylor and everything else. What she's done as a boxer and everything else, like being around her company and fight week, I'm sure. Obviously, other than Sophie, obviously the light you'll shine for obviously Katie as well, who's obviously big in faith as well. So, do you see this as sort of your past with Katie Taylor always meant the cross?
I don't know. That's a nice way of looking at it, man. I'm still, like, even just you saying it there, I'm kind of focused on the task ahead, that sometimes I don't take into account the the magnitude of this event. Like Katie Taylor is just someone, like, as a country, oh man, like who can come close to Katie Taylor? Like what she's achieved. She's just like just the character to go with her achievements. It seems like just I've never met Katie, the sweetest, most humble character in the world, and just who's going to eclipse her as the perfect role model? I don't know. Like you said, a woman of faith, and that's why I I see her doing it this time. Look, she's against an unbelievable opponent, a powerful woman that comes forward and that can't really be budged, and has said herself she doesn't believe that Katie can hurt her. A lot of people are wondering how can Katie win this fight. I believe that Katie will be risen to the occasion, and I believe that it's going to be phenomenal. To be on her card is nothing short of an honor, and I don't say that lightly. A true honor, man.
And obviously on a worldwide audience as well. Obviously, Matchroom here, the biggest promoter. It's no questions. They sort of come from that as Matchroom are the biggest in the world, and the zone obviously the platform as well. Like people will be able to see exactly who Jamie Morrissey is and what Jamie Morrissey is all about all around the world. So this obviously could make you a global superstar, which you've probably never been prepared for. But who knows? You're putting yourself in a shop window, and it could end up being that you obviously shock, not that you shock the world in fact of obviously your performance because you already know what you can do, but obviously you shock people that become an ultimate fan of Jimmy Morrissey in moments.
Yes, my man. Like that's obviously something you have to take into account. I'm focused on the fight, Steve. I'm gonna be like in this world today. It's a lot of people just trying to be something they're not, and you can smell that from a mile away. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be myself. When the camera's on me, I'm not going to be any different to what you see now. I do have a message. It's beautiful to attain a platform in which you can, I suppose, attain the credibility to really let that message be heard. Um, it's a fight at the end of the day, bro. I'm focused on the fight. I'm focused on the fight. Um, but yes, I suppose a lot of it's a big opportunity, Steve. It's a real big opportunity in terms of what can come from this. Um, God is at the wheel. I got to show up, do me, put in my work now, and be prepared for war, spiritually, physically, be prepared for war. And I will be. What comes of it, it will be.
Obviously, defeating Emmet Brennan on the 25th of November, what does that mean to Jamie Morrissey? That doesn't change anything at the fact that you know what you're capable of, and if you show up, what can happen? What does a win on the 25th of November mean to you?
Oh, what does it mean to me? It means it's more so about the platform. It's about the platform. It's about, I suppose it's like, it doesn't get bigger, Steve, does it? It doesn't get bigger, man. And look what, through a good team, through the guidance of God, through hard work, I've gotten to something I could only a dream of, putting on shin pads to do an amateur kickboxing fight 6 years ago. Um, it's something that would have been irrational if you spoke to someone about. So, what does it mean to me? It gives me the adequate platform to glorify God and my message. Um, it is probably the last step domestically. Whoop this guy, it's my last step domestically. Next fight, when I'm fighting again, surely it's someone outside of the country. But I don't like, yeah, man, it's about nothing changes. In terms of, I respect Emmet, I respect him a lot. I'm not going to show him more respect in the ring than I showed anyone else. I believe that Kevin Cronin is a tough fight for him. I believe Kevin Cronin's a very tough fight for Emmet. So it's about, for me, it's about the platform. Am I overlooking this man? Not at all, man. I'm ready for war. Um, I'm coming for war. And it's about the platform and what it gives me, even everything from the attaining the platform for my message to even financially what could come of it for the people around me. And to keep striving that way. Like, people have a complete misperception of the money a boxer earns, but with the help of God, I win here. I'm getting there.
Do you see the pressure more so on Emmet? Obviously, the fact that he hasn't he hasn't been tested as a pro. Obviously, all the pressure's on him. You can just relax and enjoy your boxing and do your very best. Do you feel the pressure's on him that he has to perform? He has to win. The spotlight's on him. It's him that's sort of giving you the opportunity, but he's giving you the opportunity in the wrong way because you're going to take that from him.
I don't see it, Steve, as him giving me the opportunity at all. Like, I really don't, because the guy, like, in terms of pressure, there is pressure on him. I put the same pressure on myself. I don't want to say that all the pressure is on him. I've worked my ass off to get to this point. If I show up and don't perform here, it, it's not great, is it? So there's a lot of pressure on me also. I don't look at it like there's more pressure on him at all. But I don't believe he's giving me this opportunity. He's talking. He has a certain perception of himself. He wants to prove that. Um, and I'm the guy with the belts. I'm the guy that's still like, okay, the last Cronin fight was close. If you don't think, and all respect to Cronin, I'm not having a dig at him here. If you don't think I won 5 rounds in that fight, you need to start watching a different sport. I'm the unbeaten guy. I'm the guy with the belts. If he wants to beat a man, he has to beat the man. And for that reason alone, he's not giving me this opportunity. I've earned my place here.
Mm.
Um, he's not giving me this opportunity. But in terms of pressure, there's pressure on both of us.
You obviously know I've put out questions and obviously Instagram. Obviously, for anybody watching this that obviously wants to get involved with questions for future interviews, that's how we do it through Instagram. Let me see, who will I start with? How many wheelie bins has Graham McCormick jumped out of?
Oh man, listen, that's fucking brilliant. Multiple, multiple. I'll say no more.
It was actually Graham and asked. He probably doesn't remember how many he's jumped out of.
No, I believe it, yeah. Multiple wheelie bins. I'll say no more on the topic.
You obviously you and Graham obviously have that bond that it's probably people probably don't realize sometimes that you're so calm and natured, and Graham's the total opposite. He's an absolute maniac, but it's just true, isn't it? That opposites attract.
Maniac. God, man, Graham's just a good mate, bro. A good mate. He's what more can I say? When you look back at Graham's resume and what he's done in the fight game as well, I can't like I've had a great relationship with Graham over the last few years. Obviously, prior to that, I knew of him around. Like, what's happening, salute him. He used to come into our pub where I'd walk. We talk a bit. We're from the same neck of the woods. So like, I don't think externally from Limerick, if you're not from Limerick, you appreciate what that guy's achieved. Look at what he's achieved in the ring. He's a champion. He's he's been absolutely phenomenal, man. And who, like, I people talk about me and like who I fought and that guy's been fighting the exact same. Anyone who wants him has been fighting. And at the end of the day, when someone goes home and looks in the mirror, there's not a lot of people that do it that way. There's just not. Like, I think it's so easy to smell a million miles away people talking shit, and there's so much God forgive me, people just talk and talk and talk, and from the domestic scene right up to the international scene that don't really want to smoke off the top 50-50 fights. Graham has not ducked a single man ever, anyone, and been involved in unbelievable fights, gone over to Scotland, gone on the big stages, won titles, been in wars, and he's still here going for another title. You're talking about a true Limerick City legend, man, and just someone that I enjoy. I have gone for, if I need to get something off my chest, if I need to hear some advice. You're talking about a guy that has been around the block in Graham, like been around the block, done time, he's got clean, he's been an addict, he's won titles, he's done it all, man. So I couldn't, he's a, he's someone that if I have something, man, something's wrecking my head, I'll sit down and talk to Graham, and he's a good friend, man. He's a good friend, and that to me, like, yeah, I like Graham's the man, brother.
I would say
And listen,
another.
saying I'm calm. You're
I,
saying I'm calm. I don't know if too many people agree with that down here, but
I
when you look,
totally agree.
contrast me to Graham, absolutely.
I totally agree. He's the godfather of Limerick. He's a grandfather of Limerick. Obviously, he's that old now. You know, obviously, me laughing and joking there, you turning 30 next year. I think Graham's nearly
Oh,
50 now, but he'll still be fighting when he's 60.
he's just that kind of guy, bro, isn't he?
Yes. Who's the next amateur champion coming out of Limerick?
The next amateur champion
Well, I
coming out
suppose
of
there's one this Saturday, isn't there?
Sophie, man. Sophie's gonna like with Sophie. It's okay. She's like when this person is okay. The next amateur champion. So the next amateur championship is coming up Saturdays, and Sophie's in the final. Sophie is an unbelievable, has unbelievable work ethic, is hard as nails. You can ask certain gyms around the country. She's sparring top level girls last week or a couple of weeks ago, and hanging in with elite champions. Really belongs there at that level. An absolute workhorse, physically gifted, seriously strong, seriously fast, with a great boxing brain. Beautiful looking, can talk. One of those people that's absolutely ridiculously gifted at everything. Is the best singer I've ever heard. I don't know where, like, she is going to be a star, an absolute star. But look, with the help of God, it starts here Saturday. Like, there's a lot of good girls boxing in the country. I don't know of any that hold star appeal like Sophie has, to be honest. She's a great role model, a great heart, and just unbelievably gifted in a lot of ways. An unbelievable boxer. And I think she'll show it again this weekend. People don't like, because it was only a semi-final. Like when she knocked out a European medalist, multiple time national champion last week, and the fight wasn't close, to be honest. It was a good fight, but it wasn't close. She does it again this weekend. She's certainly going to be turning some heads, and she's the next amateur champion for sure. Like we already have. I want to give Faisal Azimi a shout out, man. He won a Celtic WBC Celtic title the weekend. The guy, like Faisal, has just been around the block years, man. The fighting down here in Limerick, I just don't know who can touch us at the minute. But Faisal is just a different kind of a breed of a man. Um, Immigrated to Ireland at 14, 15 years old, became probably one of my best friends. I really trust the guy. A very, very close mate of mine, but he's just been whooping ass for the last 3 to 4 years, 4 years maybe. Whooping ass, nonstop. Fighting grown men as like 17, 18-year-old. And you're dealing with it like, I don't know how far, like this guy can go so far. And like Muay Thai is really getting there. There wasn't money in it. The money is getting there, and this guy's whooping ass. A beautiful WBC green belt. Shout out to my Thai boxing gym. They won 6 out of 6 fights last week. And then if you're talking amateur boxing, Cian Hederman is going to the European Championships representing the under-22s. I don't know who's stopping him over there, to be honest. No, I'm not hugely knowledgeable. I know that like anyone can beat anyone over 3 fights. You're going over to the European countries like with just Russians, Kazakhs, all these countries. So it's going to be tough, but the guy's a gifted boxer. So yeah, no shortage of talent down here, bro.
Did you say Sophie was a great singer?
Unbelievable singer. Unbelievable.
Here's an idea. Obviously, I'm not sure if he's always spoke about it, but wouldn't it be amazing, obviously, on such a platform for you and a special night for you if Sophie was to sing you out in the Three Arena?
It would be cool. It would be, yeah, it'd be cool enough now. I don't know, do I have that pull yet, do I?
I don't. Well, I guess at the end of the day, it's your moment, isn't it? I guess obviously if Sophie obviously felt good about it, but obviously it could be because you know sometimes you have to promote from within. So if obviously if Sophie wanted to sing you out now, I know you're a big fan of the Spice Girls. She might not want to sing the Spice Girls, but I'm sure that could be I'm sure you could do that very easily.
Yeah, man. Look, tag Eddie Hearn in this. Who knows?
Definitely, obviously, because at the end of the day, it's your choice. I'd have one more, obviously, and I'm not sure if obviously this was put in for a joke or not, but someone, I'm not telling you who it was, but someone wants to ask who's taking your photos at Taylor Cameron too.
Oh man, Mark Mead. I'm trying to get Mark Mead in there, bro. Yeah, like I'm going to be working on getting that man in there. He's just provided me with the best photos ever, man. And like, there's one hanging up that my shout out to my SNC guy Kyle got me framed, an unbelievable photo, and he has photos that I'll always take with me. Matt Mead, bro, he's the man. You're talking photos that in the fight game. You're talking Mark Mead. The guy's the best.
Definitely, obviously, I know the relationship we built up with him over the last year or so, and getting him the access to these shows, and obviously his fruits of his labour and his work is fairly leaving an imprint within any boxer that he comes across with his camera. Um, we've come to the end. Obviously, it's great to obviously get a great catch up, Jamie, as always. I'm looking forward to obviously fight week in Dublin. To obviously see you getting your moment that obviously that you truly deserve. Obviously, I hope the next 4 weeks or so goes great for you in camp. We'll catch up with you in fight week in Dublin.
Thank you very much, my man, and thank you all as journalists and interviewers for the work you do. Always a pleasure, my man.
Cheers, Jamie. Take care. Thanks.
God
Bye
bless.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.